I always preach that there is so much to do in Tampa, and not only is there something for everyone, but how amazing it is for families. And so today, I'm asking my daughter to join me and share her perspective on what's it like living in Tampa, Florida. So stay tuned. People move to Tampa, Florida for the lifestyle. Sure, the weather's amazing and having water views, it doesn't hurt, but a big part of why they end up living here is for the loaded calendar of events and the endless things to do. It's almost impossible to get bored, and whether you want to relax and soak in the sun or you want to make an adventure out of the day, Tampa has you covered. Now, join me as I hand things over to my daughter because I want her to explain her version of living in Tampa. All right, so we came down to the Riverwalk, one of your favorite places in Tampa, to have a nice chat. And I want you to share with the viewers some of the things you like to do here. So for starters, would you agree that pretty much every weekend we're looking for something new to do?
Yeah, we're always busy.
All right, so let's talk about that. What are some of your favorite things to do in Tampa?
I love going to the Rays game.
Yes, and I know when we walk in, the crowd's cheering. You love to interact with the game and how they always do the cheers and the chants and doing the wave in the crowd. So what's something that you have to get at a Rays game?
I always have to get Dippin' Dots, and I always beg for it in the little cups. And my sister always has to get a hot dog.
Yep, and sometimes I let you get the cup, sometimes I don't. Now, before we leave the game, what's one of the things that you guys always beg me to do?
Go pet the stingrays.
And why? Because they're always what?
Because they're always slimy.
Exactly, and you guys like it. Sometimes they'll splash you when their little wings slap the water. So outside of the Rays game, give me one more. Give me another one that's really fun that we like to do together as a family.
Going to the zoo.
All right, so what do you like about the zoo? Right when you go and you head beeline it to what animal?
The tiger.
Okay, and what do you want to see from that tiger? Because I know you guys are always waiting for it.
Big roar.
All right, because it kind of shadows things. Now, right around the corner from the tiger is?
The bear.
All right, and then keep going. What are some of the two big ones that even adults like to do?
Feeding the rhinos and feeding the giraffes.
I know, I think I might like that more than you. But
Not true.
I don't know. And then, is there anything else about the zoo that you really, really like?
I also really, really like the water ride. It goes straight up, turns, and comes straight down with a huge splash.
Yep, and I like, as a spectator, I like to see everybody standing on the bridge, just watching you guys, because they get, splashed with that huge tidal wave that comes down once you get the bottom. But let's keep going past the zoo, because Tampa's got a ton of things to do. You mentioned that, I went to a Luke Combs concert this year with Mommy. So what do you want? You kind of mentioned that you wanted to do a concert this year. What do you want to do?
I want to go to Taylor Swift or Luke Combs.
All right, because you're turning into a little Swiftie now that we saw the Super Bowl. And, I can't blame you for that. There's a lot of followers there. All right, so you gave me the Rays, you gave me the zoo and the concerts, and those are all really, really good ones. But, there's big ticket items at the table. But give me something outside of the city that you like to do, something that people maybe haven't heard of.
Well, how about strawberry picking and seeing the cows?
That is a good one. I mean, down in Plant City, which is about 20, 30 minutes away from Tampa, not too many people know this, but we have about 400 acres and we have a ton of cows. In fact, you have a cow. So tell me, when we go out there to visit, the cows, what are some of the things that you like to do out there?
I love chasing the hogs on four-wheelers, seeing my cow Bella, and after we always have to get a strawberry milkshake.
Strawberry shortcake and the strawberry milkshake, to be fair, those are clutch. Most people, again, don't know about this, but right outside of the city, we have a ton of citrus. We have strawberries, blueberry fields, tons of wide open pasture. And over there they have Parksdale Farm, which is the best strawberry milkshake in Tampa Bay. All right, so far I like the list of things to do. We went strawberry picking, the cows and all that. That's great. Let's fire off a couple more for the folks. What are maybe one or two other things that you really like to do?
The beaches and the river walk. Plus downtown.
Okay, I can see that. The beaches, that's a pretty much a given. We have some of the best beaches in the country right in our backyard. I know you love shelling, building the sand castles and all that. And of course, in the summers, it's awesome going in the water. But talk to me about the Riverwalk. What do you like about the Riverwalk or downtown?
I love bringing my skates, and like the other day, we went on an e-boat.
That was fun, yeah. So the e-boats are electric boats that you can rent down by the river. You can rent them by the hour. So we did that. So what was fun when we rented that e-boat the other day?
Driving down the river with loud music blasting and chasing dolphins.
All right, so you definitely gave me a good list of things and you rattled off some good ones, but I want to share with the folks one more that's kind of special to us. Beginning of the year, we started doing daddy-daughter date nights, and we try to do those about once a month. But what are some of the things that we've enjoyed together?
Well, I like getting dressed up and going out to Eulalie, Rooster in the Till, and Burns Dessert Room. I love Burns Dessert Room because you have your own little private room with the phone on the wall, and the desserts are just amazing.
Yeah, we had a good time there, and the one thing that shocked me the most was when you can request the songs on the with the phone, and the piano player will play them, and I was like, hey, request a song, and I think you were shocked, but then I got more shocked when you're like, hey, do you know Taylor Swift? And he's like, yup, and then he went and played it. That was pretty funny. So as you can see from the list my daughter just shared with us, there's a nice variety of things to do, and to be fair, that was just the tip of the iceberg. These are real things that we do as a family, and to be honest, I might have more fun than she does with some of these. And the things that she'll speak about in this video applies to all ages. I mean, who wouldn't want to feed a rhino, go to a Rays game, dress up and go on a date, and why not ride four-wheelers while we're at it? There's fun for everyone, but what about some of the areas we've lived? I hear it all the time. Is the area safe? And what are the best neighborhoods? Well, we're gonna touch on that right now, but while I have your attention, for 10 seconds. We are licensed realtors, so if you're planning to move to Tampa, reach out to my team because we would love to help you and your family find your next home. All right, so Alina, you mentioned a lot of places and things that we do together, and it's sad that, safety is often a question for people moving here, but the reality is there's some cities or some areas that are not that safe, and I don't want to pretend that a big city like Tampa doesn't have trouble areas, but in all the places you mentioned, did you ever feel unsafe with some of the things that we do together?
No, not really.
All right, and that's the answer we would all hope for, especially with as many different places as you mentioned, and that, we get to experience together. And what about the places we've lived? Can you share with the folks some of the areas we have lived and your experience from each? And keep in mind, we've lived in the city, we've lived in the suburbs, and a little bit of country living. So let's start with talking about the suburbs. Where did you live, and what did you like about where you lived?
Well, we lived in Lutz, and I loved seeing everyone riding around on golf carts, and we made a lot of friends in the community.
Yeah, and what came up to your window almost every morning?
Deer and bunny.
And to the point where you almost started naming them, right? So that was kind of suburb living. Now, if we had to switch that over to the city where we live now, which is kind of near the river, what do you love about living in the city versus where we live in the suburbs?
Well, we're close to everything, and we have great neighbors.
You do, and we have tons of kids in our neighborhood, right? Even though we're in the city, it's a little bit of a different vibe. And we are close to everything, so every time we go out, there's that as well. Now, what about our home? How did the home differ from where we live in the suburbs?
Well, it's an older home, but we love it.
And we love it because we got to renovate it, we fixed it up the way we liked, and we got to play decorating with our home. So yeah, even though it's a 1970s home, we still got to make it our own. Similar to the things to do, we are seeing variety, and that Tampa caters to a variety of lifestyles. You can live in the city and be close to all the action, or you can settle in a bit in the suburbs, which, by the way, if you're into new construction homes, the suburbs is where you'll want to start your search. And last but not least, if you want a little extra space where you can stretch out, you don't want city living, and you don't care for a master plan community, the outskirts of Tampa has lakefront living, homes with acreage, or you can even have a cattle ranch like we do. What I love is that you have options here, and the same goes for schools. So let's get my daughter's insight on that, because that's important if you have kiddos. All right, so when we moved to Lutz, Florida, one of Tampa's popular suburbs, we did so with the plan to be in the Steinbrenner School District, which is known for being one of the best school zones from elementary through high school. But when I toured the school, there was 186 kindergartens, and we had to choose between sending you there or with all your cousins in private school. For us, it was pretty much a no-brainer going to private because you were with family in smaller classes. But tell us what you like about your current school, which we ended up choosing.
Well, I like that I have a lot of friends and the classes are smaller, and I've been with my friends forever.
Pretty much when you started, right? Kindergarten all the way to now, 3rd grade. So do you feel like the classes are too small, and do you like it that way?
I don't think it's that small, but I do like it.
So a concern for many not only looking to move here, but also for those that live here with a child in a small class setting would be having friends and possibly even meeting new people. So do you have any friends outside of school, and where did you meet them?
Well, yeah, of course, in my neighborhood. And I've met most of them at soccer, dance, and even gymnastics.
For those of you with kids, schools are 99% of the time a priority. In Tampa, while it's not always the perfect match finding the best public school where you live, just know there's options. We have public schools, private, and a hybrid with charter schools bringing a new popular option. When an area such as our suburbs attract an influx of new residents, instead of rezoning public schools, it's easier just to add a charter school where kids can get accepted with more of a lottery system rather than a boundary of where you live. My daughter started pre-K in a charter school, then transitioned to private. If it wasn't for her cousins, we most likely would have just stayed in the area and sent her to the public school. I also hear the concerns of families moving here if it's easy to fit in and if kids and adults alike will meet people. Tampa's easygoing, and with all the ways my daughter mentioned, your neighbors, schools, extracurricular activities, etc., it's almost too easy to meet others because the weather and the lifestyle here, it just makes it so easy to get out of the house. Now this next one might be something that is overlooked living in Tampa, but I've always thought it to be an added bonus. Being located in Central Florida, there are so many day trips or adventures to take, and it turns most of Florida into our own playground. All right, so let's talk about some of the fun road trips you'd like to take on a long weekend, or maybe even for the day that's outside of Tampa. What you got for me?
Well, we always like to stop by Disney or the Disney Hotel.
Oh, that's true, because not a lot of people know that, but as a Florida resident, you actually get a ton of discounts on Disney hotels. So sometimes we just like to do the hotels with the pools and everything they have going versus even going to the parks and whatnot.
But we also love going to Springs.
You talking about like Wiki Watch and all that?
Yeah.
All right, so that's true. Florida has a ton of springs, you know, everything from Ocala down to, you know, South Florida, but they have natural springs that we like to go and get kayaks and pack lunch, and you just float down the springs, and it makes for an awesome day.
The third thing we like doing is shark teeth hunting.
Okay, in Venice Beach. So last time I went down there, Venice Beach is actually known, for your viewers here, Venice Beach is known as the shark teeth capital of the world for shark teeth hunting. And we go down there and you rent these little baskets and sift through them, and I think you found like 41 shark teeth in like an hour last time we went. So that was pretty neat.
Also like going and see Tracy, Jeff, and Eric and Now.
Okay, so Tracy and Jeff, Eric and Nell, those are friends of ours. They live in Melbourne Beach, which is on the East Coast, and then of course down in South Florida and Fort Lauderdale. So we absolutely can take day trips living in Central Florida, so that's true. We get to visit friends and family. So do you have anything else for me?
Well, yeah, St. Augustine.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, when we had an RV for a little bit, we would do day trips, just kind of tripping all over Florida, and we made our way to St. Augustine. And we just like those old school vibes, and there's a ton of history there, especially down those brick roads and whatnot. Now, if you ever heard me say living in Tampa is like living in paradise, it's because I literally feel as if it's my playground. We love where we live and we love our neighbors. Every weekend, whether it's just my wife and I, or it's the entire family, there's always something to do. And it's not just basic stuff either. We're talking about pro sport games, big concerts, festivals. And if we want to slow things down, we head to the beach, or we do something simple like go blueberry picking. For my kids, we found the right school setup for them. And because of sports outside of school, they have more friends than they can handle. And when it's all said and done, sometimes it's just nice to get away, and that's easy to do too. If you're thinking about moving to Tampa or simply need help finding the right area for your family, do not hesitate to reach out to my team. We would love to help you and your family find your next home. So until that next video,
We'll catch you later.